So I'm doing another video because Fuckwick has been continuing to physically abuse me in the past 24 hours, I think maybe 36 hours. He's been doing the suffocation thing again, almost, like all of my waking hours, some of my resting hours, I was having to clear mucus again at like 1:30 in the morning. Um, it's typical fuckwad, like, he gets caught and then he doubles down. And also he gets caught and reminded that he's not allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And then he gets angry about that because he's like, his attitude is, I'm allowed to murder whoever I want. So, so he's like doubling down, tripling down now. So he's been doing the suffocation thing again. And the coughing and hacking and the mucus. And then also he's doing the sinus thing. And now it's been almost 5 weeks since I got sick with that cold. And you can even still hear that he's swelling my sinuses a little bit. Like you can hear the nasal congestion. And my nose is constantly running. And I'm using Nasonex twice a day now. I use it once in the morning and one in each nostril in the morning and one each nostril at night. And that has always cleared up any sinus thing, so he's pushing through that. He's still doing the digestive stuff. It might not be as intense as it was a few days ago, but it's still like constantly just bothering my digestive system, creating gas, creating all kinds of problems that I just simply don't have anymore because I haven't eaten gluten in like 5 years and I just don't have those issues other than the celiac disease. So there's absolutely no reason for me to be having those symptoms, and I would not be having them if it wasn't for Fuckwick. So he's still continuing that. That's every day still. The stomach pain. I mean, I just don't want to forget anything this time. So I should have written a list, but I didn't. So we have the digestive system, nasal congestion, suffocation, which is basically choking. Oh, and now he's back to the crotch rape and anal rape all the time. That's the other thing, right? Is he started, and right now he's itch stinging my crotch over and over again. He started the anal rape thing again, where he makes my anus and rectum extremely sore. Like while he's making me poop 3-4 times a day, he was also making my rectum and anus hurt really bad and bleed really bad. So it was like excruciating every time I went to the bathroom. And that just amounts to anal rape. I mean, that's just by the terms of the law, like that he's anally raping me. When he does that. So then outside of that, he's also, constantly stimulating my anus and my crotch, all areas of my crotch. He's got a really angry, disgusting rash just ongoing in my inner thigh crease on the left side. That's all like just, infected all the time. That thing that's on my pelvis, that's always there and itchy, and infected. My labia is constantly covered in a rash right now from Fuckwick, especially on the left side. But I'm not putting hydrocortisone on that every day because I don't want to have vulvar cancer at some point in my life. So I'm not using hydrocortisone on that all the time because I've already had to do that a lot of my life. That was a complication of celiac disease back when I was still eating gluten. Anyway, okay, so what else? Yeah, I mean, I talked about the toilet thing. I mean, there's like all the psychological stuff that they're doing too, but that stuff is stupid. Like, I think that Pam has an entirely made up friend that's supposed to represent her that I think she invented to try to help me understand what's happening in her life that for some reason the Goon Squad isn't allowed to tell me. And the Goon Squad keeps trying to prove that this is like a little bit obscure, and I'm sorry if I'm not being clear about it. Pam, when I first saw her again, told me about this friend she had. I'm not going to use the name, but I felt that it was a fictional friend that was made up and intended to represent her. Um, because she's not allowed to tell me everything that's going on in her life. Because, again, like I said, for some bizarre reason, the Goon Squad doesn't think that I have a right to know what's happening in my closest family members' lives. So I think she was trying to communicate that with me by using this fictional friend. But then, I went and did the thing where I figured out that it's probably a fictional friend. So then the Goon Squad is in there constantly. Every time I say that I think the friend's not real, the next day Pam is saying something about this friend trying to make her sound like she's real. It's like so obvious. It's like bing bang, bing bang. I mean, they're so stupid. Like, they're so dumb. Anyway, and Pam is having like a girls get together tonight. And I thought that I actually suspected that it might be like sort of a bridal shower for me, because it seems to be themed around things that I like. And it's like the kind of get together that I want to have for a bridal shower. I'm not a party girl. Like, I don't like to go to bars. I wouldn't want to go out and have like a big party. Like, that's not what I do. So it does seem like it's intended to be fun for me specifically. So I was like, I wonder if it's a bridal shower. Anyway, but that might get canceled because it's snowing and freezing cold, and the roads are probably going to be very hazardous later. So it might have to be canceled or rescheduled anyway. Yeah, so back to the abuse. The psychological stuff, it's annoying, and so that thing with the fictional friend that Pam invented, like, that's like a good example of the psychological. Like, they're just constantly trying to erase reality and insert whatever fictional nonsensical lie that they would like to be true, or that they think is going to needle me or make me feel bad or isolated or whatever it is. So they do that. They're doing that stuff all the time, 24/7 right now. I mean, I'm really just being pounded right now. I'm being pounded psychologically and physically, which isn't that different from like the past 11 years, but it's definitely at a threshold right now. Like, it's very high, and then on top of that, of course, I'm still dealing with the grief of losing Thury. That continues to be difficult. I still have moments, like at least a few times a week, where I sort of break down a little bit, thinking about her, and a lot of that is guilt. A lot of it is grief. But I feel guilty about things that I couldn't control, like I couldn't protect her from him, and I feel guilty about like kind of throwing caution to the wind and giving her high fat foods to get her to eat when he was making her not eat. And it was a poor judgment call on my part. That doesn't take away his responsibility for creating that situation to begin with. And all you have to do is ask a lawyer about that, and they would agree with me. So I'm just letting you know. So anyway, I'm probably forgetting some physical abuse right now. I just live with ongoing stuff all the time, which is why I sometimes forget things when, like, for instance, in my last video, I was talking about how I lost some weight. And, I think what I said in that video was, that I think that the grief of losing Thury really made my appetite drop off. But I also forgot, in that at the same time, as I was like immediately after Thury's death, I got sick, I got the cold. And then on top of that, the suffocation, which I had been living with since November, like really started to get worse. And then on top of that, I got my period at the same time as I got the cold. So like all these different things happened at the same time. And then the suffocation, he was suffocated. That's what I just said. Like, that reached a threshold. So like that was really bad. And the sinus stuff was really bad. And so all of that combined, I think, is what created my lack of an appetite. the suffocation is like, I've sort of like reached a level with that where, it's not making me panic like it was initially, like while Pam and Billy were away, a couple weeks ago. Um, and that was very difficult. I was really, trying to mitigate panic at that point, because he was doing it just constantly. Like I couldn't relax, because I was constantly feeling like I couldn't get a breath. So, anyway, I don't remember what my point was. Oh, it was just that it's like almost scary to eat when you feel like that, because it does feel like you're drowning or something, And then on top of that, he's also, every time I eat these days, he's making me bite my cheek. He's sometimes making me bite my tongue. He does the suffocation worse, and then he's trying to choke me on my food and on my drinks, and so that definitely played a big part. And just being sick, I think, and being on all that medication. Anyway, so all of that, like I said, together, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But there were a lot of reasons why my appetite dropped off. Right now, my appetite is a little bit ridiculously high, but that's because I have PMS. Like, my period is probably coming within a couple days here. So I'm hoping it'll drop off again. But we'll see what happens. Because I'm probably just putting all the weight back on that I just lost. So whatever. I don't really care though. All right. So that's what I just wanted to say, that he's being ridiculous. He's obviously his hair is completely on fire. He's completely out of his mind. He's a total lunatic. And he has no self-control. And just every day I wake up, I'm just like, I can't believe he's not in jail. Like, I just can't believe. Everybody knows that he has a control to the implant. Everybody knows that he put the implant in me. Everybody knows that he's doing this physical abuse to me. Why is he not in jail? Okay, that's it. That's all I've got. Bye.